Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Alan Sugar. Alan Michael Sugar Baron Sugar is a British business magnate. He is also a media personality, politician and political advisor. According to the Sunday Times Rich list, Sugar became a billionaire in 2015. In 2016 they estimated his fortune at £1.15 billion, and ranked him as the 95th richest person in the UK. In 2007, he sold his remaining interest in the consumer electronics company Amstrad, his largest business venture. Sugar was chairman of Tottenham Hotspur from 1991 to 2001. Sugar appears in the BBC TV series The Apprentice, which has been broadcast annually since 2005, and is based on the US television show of the same name. Early life. Sugar was born in Hackney, East London, into a Jewish family. His father Nathan was a tailor in the garment industry of the East End. When Sugar was young, his family lived in a council flat. Because of his profuse curly hair, he was nicknamed Mophead, a name that he still goes by in the present day. He attended Northwold Primary School, and then Brookhouse Secondary School in Upper Clapton, Hackney, and made extra money by working at a greengrocer's. After leaving school at the age of 16, he worked briefly for the civil service as a statistician at the Ministry of Education. He began selling radio aerials for cars and other electrical goods out of a van which he had bought for £50 and insured for £8. To afford this, he withdrew all of his postal savings, which totaled just £100. Personal life. Lord Sugar is an atheist but remains proud of his Jewish heritage. Sugar and his wife Anne married on 28 April 1968. They have two sons, Simon and Daniel, and a daughter, Louise. The couple live in Chigwell, Essex. Anne is the paternal aunt of former EastEnders actress Rita Simons. Sugar owns a Cirrus State Route 22 four-seat aircraft. During an attempted landing at City Airport, Manchester on 5 July 2008, Sugar suffered a crash in this aircraft because of wet and soft field conditions. No injuries were sustained, although Sugar was said to be very shaken. He is a supporter and was the former owner of Tottenham Hotspur. In February 2009, it was reported that Sugar had initiated legal proceedings against the Sun newspaper following a report that he had been named on a hit list of British Jews in response to Israel's ongoing military operation in Gaza. The threats are alleged to have been made by Glenn Genvy, the source of the original story in The Sun, who posted to a Muslim website under a false identity. In 2015, Sugar had an estimated fortune of £1.04 billion. Political involvement. In February 2009, the Evening Standard journalist Andrew Gilligan claimed that Sugar had been approached to be the Labour candidate for Mayor of London in 2012. Sugar subsequently ridiculed the claim in an interview with The Guardian. But during Prime Minister Gordon Brown's cabinet reshuffle on 5 June 2009, the BBC reported that Sugar would become Lord Sugar and had been offered a job as the government's enterprise champion. On 7 June 2009, Sugar sought to clarify the non-political nature of his appointment. He stated that he would not be joining the government, that the appointment was politically neutral, and that all he wanted to do was help businesses and entrepreneurs. In August 2014, Sugar was one of 200 public figures who were signatories to a letter to The Guardian opposing Scottish independence in the run-up to September's referendum on that issue. From 1997 until 2015, Sugar was a member of the Labour Party and also one of its largest donors. On the 11th of May 2015, 4 days after the United Kingdom general election 2015, he announced that he was leaving the party. He issued a statement to say, before the London mayoral election 2016, Lord Sugar claimed that he is popular politically and repeatedly urged the public to not vote for Sadiq Khan. Khan won for the United Kingdom European Union membership referendum 2016. He endorsed the Remain campaign. In May 2017, Sugar endorsed Theresa May for the United Kingdom general election 2017. During a recent radio interview with LBC's Nick Ferrari, Lord Sugar said when asked about the 2017 election results that it's very surprising. I think I'd join a lot of people when I say the Theresa May and Conservative campaign was very lacking in what they were going to offer the public, and that Jeremy Corbyn did a very good job wooing the young and educated people. I would add that those people who voted for him are quite bright and educated, but also not very experienced in life. Amstrad. Sugar founded Amstrad Trading in 1968. The company began as a general importer, exporter, and wholesaler but soon specialized in consumer electronics. By 1970, the first manufacturing venture was underway. He achieved lower production prices by using injection molding plastics for hi-fi turntable covers, severely undercutting competitors who used vacuum forming processes. Manufacturing capacity was soon expanded to include the production of audio amplifiers and tuners. In 1980, Amstrad was listed on the London Stock Exchange and, during the 1980s, Amstrad doubled its profit and market value every year. By 1984, recognizing the opportunity of the home computer era, Amstrad launched an 8-bit machine, the Amstrad CPC 464. Although the CPC range were attractive machines with CP/M capability and a good basic interpreter, it had to compete with its arch-rivals, the more graphically complex Commodore 64 and the popular Sinclair ZX Spectrum, not to mention the highly sophisticated BBC Micro. Despite this, 3 million units were sold worldwide with a long production life of 8 years. It inspired an East German version with Z80 clone processors. In 1985, Sugar had another major breakthrough with the launch of the Amstrad PCW 8256 word processor, which retailed at over £300, but was still considerably cheaper than rival machines. In 1986, Amstrad bought the rights to the Sinclair computer product line and produced 2 more ZX Spectrum models in a similar style to their CPC machines. It also developed the PC-1512, a PC-compatible computer, which became quite popular in Europe and was the first in a line of Amstrad PCs. At its peak, Amstrad achieved a stock market value of £1.2 billion. But the 1990s proved a difficult time for the company. The launch of a range of business PCs was marred by unreliable hard disks, causing high levels of customer dissatisfaction, and damaging Amstrad's reputation in the personal computer market, from which it never recovered. Subsequently, Seagate was ordered to pay Amstrad $153 million in damages for lost revenue. This was later reduced by $22 million in an out-of-court settlement. In the early 1990s, Amstrad began to focus on portable computers rather than desktop computers. Also in 1990, Amstrad entered the gaming market with the Amstrad GX 4000, but it was a commercial failure largely because there was only a poor selection of games available. Additionally, it was immediately superseded by the Japanese consoles, Mega Drive and Super NES, which both had a much more comprehensive selection of games. In 1993, Amstrad released the PenPad, a PDA, and bought into Betacom and Viglen in order to focus more on telecommunications rather than computers. Amstrad released the first of its combined telephony and email devices, called the EM Attila, followed by the EM Attila Plus in 2002, neither of which sold in great volume. On the 31st of July 2007, it was announced that broadcaster Sky B had agreed to buy Amstrad for about £125 million. At the time of the takeover, Sugar commented that he wished to play a part in the business, saying, "I turned 60 this year, and I have had 40 years of hustling in the business, but now I have to start thinking about my team of loyal staff, many of whom have been with me for many years." On the 2nd of July 2008, it was announced that Sugar was standing down from Amstrad as chairman to focus on his other business interests. Tottenham Hotspur. After a takeover battle with Robert Maxwell, Sugar teamed up with Terry Venables and bought Tottenham Hotspur Football Club in June 1991. Although Sugar's initial investment helped ease the financial troubles the club was suffering at the time, his treatment of Tottenham as a business venture, and not a footballing one, made him an unpopular figure among the Spurs fans. In Sugar's 9 years as chairman, Tottenham Hotspur did not finish in the top 6 in the league, and won just one trophy, the 1999 Football League Cup. Sugar sacked Venables the night before the 1993 FA Cup final, a decision which led to Venables appealing to the high courts for reinstatement. A legal battle for the club took place over the summer, which Sugar won. The decision to sack Venables angered many of Tottenham fans, and Sugar later said, "I felt as though I'd killed Bambi." In 1992, he was the only representative of the then Big Five who voted in favour of Sky's bid for Premier League television rights. The other 4 voted in favour of ITV's bid, as it had promised to show Big Five's games more often. At the time of the vote, Sugar's company Amstrad was developing satellite dishes for Sky, though Sugar had declared this prior to the vote. In 1994, Sugar financed the transfers of 3 stars of the 1994 World Cup, Ilie Dumitrescu, Gica Popescu, and most notably Jurgen Klinsmann, who had an excellent first season in English football, being named Footballer of the Year. Because Spurs had not qualified for the UEFA Cup, Klinsmann decided to invoke an opt-out clause in his contract and left for Bayern Munich in the summer of 1995. Sugar appeared on television holding the last shirt Klinsmann wore for Spurs, and said he wouldn't wash his car with it. He referred to foreigners coming into the Premier League at high wages as Carlos Kickaballs. Klinsmann retaliated by calling Sugar a man without honor and said, "He only ever talks about money. He never talks about the game." I would say there is a big question mark over whether Sugar's heart is in the club and in football. The big question is what he likes more, the business or the football. Klinsmann re-signed for Tottenham on loan in December 1997. In October 1998, former Tottenham striker Teddy Sheringham released his autobiography, in which he attacked Sugar as the reason he left Tottenham in 1997. Sheringham said Sugar had accused him of feigning injury during a long spell on the sidelines during the 1993-1994 season. He wrote that Sugar had refused to give him the 5-year contract he wanted, as he had not believed Sheringham would still get into the Tottenham team when he was 36. Sheringham returned to Tottenham after his spell at Manchester United and continued to start for the first team until he was released in the summer of 2003 at age 37. Sheringham said that Sugar lacked ambition and was hypocritical. As an example, Sugar asked him for recommendations of players, when Sheringham suggested England midfielder Paul Ince. Sugar refused because he did not want to spend £4 million on a player who would soon be 30. After Sheringham left Spurs, Sugar approved the signing of Les Ferdinand, aged 31, for a club record £6 million on higher wages than Sheringham had wanted. Sugar appointed 7 managers in his time at Spurs. The first was Peter Shreves, followed by the dual management team of Doug Livermore and Ray Clements, former Spurs midfielder Osvaldo Ardiles, and up-and-coming young manager Jerry Francis. In 1997, Sugar stunned the footballing world by appointing the relatively unknown Swiss manager Christian Gross. Gross lasted 9 months as Spurs finished in 14th place in 1998 and began the next season with just 3 points from their opening 3 games. Sugar next appointed George Graham, a former player and manager of bitter rivals Arsenal. Despite his earning Tottenham's first trophy in 8 years, the Spurs fans never warmed to Graham, partly because of his Arsenal connections. They disliked the negative, defensive style of football which he had. Spurs playing fans claimed it was not the Tottenham way. In February 2001, Sugar sold his majority stake at Tottenham to leisure group HNIC, selling 27% of the club for £22 million. In June 2007, Sugar sold his remaining shares to HNIC for £25 million, ending his 16-year association with the club. He has described his time at Tottenham as a waste of my life. Sugar later donated £3 million from the proceeds of the sale of his interests in Tottenham Hotspur to the refurbishment of the Hackney Empire in his native East End of London. Amsair. Amsair Executive Aviation was founded in 1993 and is run by Sugar's son Daniel Patrick. With Amstrad, the name Amsair is an acronym taken from the initials of Sugar's name, Alan Michael Sugar Air. Amsair operates a large Cessna fleet and one Embraer Legacy 650, with the registration G Sugar, offering business and executive jet charters. Amsprop. Amsprop is an investment firm owned by Sugar and is now controlled by his son Daniel Patrick. Simon Ambrose, winner of the 2007 series of The Apprentice, started working for Amsprop Estates after the series finished. However, in April 2010 he was reported to be leaving to start his own venture, Viglen Ltd. Sugar was the owner of Viglen Ltd, an IT services provider catering primarily to the education and public sector. He resigned his position on 1 July 2009. Following the sale of Amstrad plc to BSkyB, Viglen is now Sugar's sole IT establishment. Amscreen. Sugar is chairman of Amscreen, a company run by his eldest son Simon Sugar, specializing in selling advertising space on digital signage screens that it provides to retailers, medical centers and leisure venues. Apprentice winner Yasmina Siadatan worked there, selling into the NHS. The screens use a face detection system called Optimize to try to identify age and sex of its viewers. In July 2008, Amscreen purchased Comtech M2M, which was founded in September 1992, originally specializing in communications product retailing. This was before entering the M2M market in 1999. On 29 August 2008, Comtech M2M officially changed names to Amscreen Limited. YouView. On 7 March 2011, Sugar replaced Kip Meek on the board of the BBC-initiated IPTV project known as YouView, which is also backed by ITV Channel 4 and Channel 5 and broadband providers including BT and TalkTalk. Sugar was paid £500,000 for chairing YouView for the year ending March 2012. The Apprentice. Sugar became the star of the BBC reality show The Apprentice, which has had one series broadcast each year from 2005 in the same role as Donald Trump in the US version. Sugar fires a candidate each week until one candidate is left who is then employed in his company, or wins a partnership with Sugar, including his investment of £250,000, to establish their own business. As a condition for appearing in the third series, Sugar placed a requirement that the show be more business-orientated rather than just entertainment, and that he should be portrayed in a less harsh light, to counter his somewhat belligerent reputation. He also expressed a desire that the caliber of the candidates should be higher than those who had appeared in the second series, and that the motives of the candidates for participating are scrutinized more carefully, given that certain of the candidates in previous series had used their successful experience in the show as a springboard to advance their own careers. In September 2013, Sugar lost his employment tribunal counterclaim against Stella English, the 2010 winner of The Apprentice. Sugar has criticized the US version of The Apprentice because they've made the fatal error of trying to change things just for the sake of it, and it backfired. Young Apprentice. Young Apprentice is a British reality television program in which a group of 12 young people aged 16 and 17 compete to win a £25,000 prize from Lord Sugar. The six-part series began on BBC One and BBC HD on Wednesday, 12 May 2010, concluding on Thursday, 10 June of the same year, and also featured Nick Hewer and Karen Brady as Sugar's advisors. Karen Brady made her debut on Junior Apprentice because it aired before she appeared on the adult version. The program concluded with Sugar awarding the prize fund to 17-year-old Arjun Rajagore, and Tim Ankers finished in second place. The second series started in October 2011, and this time featured 8 episodes and 12 contestants. The series was won by Zara Brownless, with James McCullough as runner-up. Originally proposed in March 2008 and confirmed in June 2009, Junior Apprentice received mostly positive reviews from critics. The program is a spin-off from the series The Apprentice, which was in turn spawned from an American series of the same name, which stars the entrepreneur Donald Trump. Sugar's role under Gordon Brown's government sparked a debate over the BBC's political impartiality regulations in the run-up to the UK 2010 election, resulting in both Junior Apprentice and the 6th regular edition of The Apprentice being delayed. Other appearances. In May 2008, Sugar made an appearance on An Audience Without Jeremy Beadle to pay tribute to Jeremy Beadle, as they were close friends, and both appeared on a celebrity special of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in 2005. In January 2009, Fiona Bruce presented a BBC Two documentary entitled The Real Sir Alan. Also in 2009, Sugar appeared in television advertisements for investment bank NS and Skills Council talking about apprenticeships. In May 2011, Sugar presented Lord Sugar Tackles Football, a documentary looking into the financial woes of English football. In September 2012, Sugar appeared as himself in a cameo in the Doctor Who episode The Power of Three. Sugar's cameo was filmed on the set of The Apprentice. In November 2012, Sugar appeared as himself in a cameo in a special episode of EastEnders for Children in Need. Honours and philanthropy. Sugar was knighted in the 2000 New Year Honours for services to the home computer and electronics industry. He holds 2 honorary doctorates of science awarded in 1988 by City University and in 2005 by Brunel University. He is a philanthropist. for charities such as Jewish Care and Great Ormond Street Hospital, and donated £200,000 to the British Labour Party in 2001. Sugar was created a life peer as Baron Sugar of Clapton in the London Borough of Hackney on 20 July 2009. On 29 October 2015, Sugar was listed by UK-based company Richtopia at number 5 in the list of 100 most influential British entrepreneurs. Bullying. Concerns have been raised by anti-bullying charity Kidscape that publicly humiliating contestants on The Apprentice may give bullying credibility. Tweets. In January 2012, on the second day of the trial of Lord Taylor of Warwick for false accounting, Sugar was ordered by Mr Justice Saunders, sitting in the Crown Court at Southwark, to remove a tweet which the court ruled could prejudice the trial. He was also referred to Her Majesty's Attorney General in relation to a possible contempt of court. However, no action was taken against him. On 6 October 2013, Sugar was investigated by police after a complaint was made that one of his tweets was racist. The message contained a photo of a child apparently of Chinese origin crying along with the caption, "The kid in the middle is upset because he was told off for leaving the production line of the iPhone 5. The police took no action against him. On 21 June 2016, after a debate on United Kingdom European Union membership referendum 2016, he made a tweet about Casella Stewart using her native name rather than the name she identifies by, and went on to claim that as a German she shouldn't be telling British people what to do. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Would you like to know more?